troubles falling asleep at night. Is that true? Okay, yeah. Don't worry, it's very normal. Most people have trouble falling asleep, actually. I think that what I'm going to do today is actually a kind of a silly remedy, but it's actually been found to help out some people. What I'm going to do is I'm going to read a book to you, and hopefully that will, calm you down and let you sleep. But before we begin, I just need to write down some of your information. So if you could give me your name, please. Okay. And how do you spell that? E-R, okay. Your address. Okay. Actually, a funny thing is my aunt lives about a 20-minute drive from you. Yeah, she lives on Cloverfield Drive. You know where that is? Yeah. Yeah, it is the rich part of town. Funny story, actually. When my uncle was about 30, he won the lottery. It was a pretty big one, too. It was about 60 million, I think it was. Yeah. So they're able to afford living there. Yeah. So, oh yeah, definitely. Yeah, we all wish that, don't we? Okay, just one last question before we begin. How long have you been having these troubles sleeping? About 3 months, okay. Okay. So, I decided the book I'm going to read to you today is, if you're a fan of the Walking Dead series, you will know who the governor is. And I have a book here called The Walking Dead Rise of the Governor. What it is it just tells a story of the governor before he did created Woodbury, and why he is now as crazy as he is. I decided that I have this book here, so I think that you might enjoy this. Have you seen any of the Walking Dead series? Oh, you have? Okay, well, so you know who the governor is. Okay, well, that's good. So, have you ever heard of this book? Okay, yeah, but you've never read it? No? Okay. So I think what I'm going to do is ask you a few questions. I'll ask you a few questions after I'm done reading the book. I'm only going to read about 2 chapters of it. I'll save 2 chapters again for our next meeting. And I'll just ask you some questions after. If you're still awake. If not, then I guess it's good to let you sleep. If you're still awake, I'll just ask you some questions after we're done with the book. Okay. So this book is by Robert Kirkman and J. Bonasiga. Part 1, The Hollow Men. There's nothing glorious in dying. Anyone can do it. Johnny Rotten. Chapter 1. It occurs to Brian Blake as he huddles in the musty darkness, the terror constricting his chest, the pain throbbing in his knees. If only he possessed a second pair of hands, he could cover his own ears and maybe block out the noise of human heads being demolished. Sadly, the only hands Brian currently owns are busy right now, covering tiny little ears of a girl in the closet next to him. The 7-year-old keeps shuddering in his arms, jerking at the intermittent thwack thump outside the door. Then comes silence, broken only by the sticky sounds of footsteps on the bloody tile, and a fury of angry whispers outside in the vestibule. Brian starts coughing again. He can't help it, for Daisy's been fighting this goddamn cold. A stubborn blight on his joints, and sinus has set cannot feels a pounding of stab of fever with each cough, doubling over in another hacking, wheezing fit. He keeps his hands pressed down on little Penny's ears as he coughs. He knows the sound of his rasping is attracting all kinds of attention outside the closet door, out in the convulsions of the house, but there is nothing he can do about it. He sees tracing of light with each cough, like tiny filgris of fireworks across his blind pupils. The closet, barely 4 feet wide and maybe 3 feet deep, is as dark as an inkwell and reeks of mothballs, mouse droppings, and cold cellar. Plastic coat bags hang down in the darkness, brushing the sides of Brian's face. Brian's younger brother Philip told him it was okay to cough in the closet. In fact, Brian was free to cough his head off. It would draw out the monsters, but Brian better not give his goddamn cold to Philip's little girl. If he did, Philip would crack Brian's head open. The coughing fit passes. Moments later, another pair of lumbering footsteps disturbs the silence outside the closet. Another dead thing entering the kill zone. Brian squeezes his hand tighter as Penny's ears, and the child flinches at another rendition of skull splitting in D minor. If asked to describe the racket outside the closet, Brian Blake would have probably reverted to his old days as a failed music store entrepreneur and tell you that the head-cracking sounds are like a percussive symphony they might play in hell. Like some trippy outtake from Edgar Farcy or a druggy drum solo from John Bonham, with repeating verses and choruses, the heavy breathing of humans, the shambling footsteps of another moving corpse, the whistle of an axe, and thunk of a steel into flesh. And finally, the big finale, the spot of moist, dead weight on slimy parquet. Another breaking the action sends fever chills down Brian's spine. The silence closes in again, eyes now adjusted to the darkness. Brian sees a first shimmer of thick arterial blood seeping under the bottom of the door. It looks like motor oil. He gently yanks his niece away from the spreading puddle, pulling her back against the boots and umbrellas along the back wall. The hem of Penny Blake's little denim dress touches the blood. She quickly pulls the fabric away and frantically rubs at the stain, as if the very absorption of blood will infect her somehow. Another convulsive coughing fit topples Brian over. He fights it. He swallows the broken glass of his sore throat and pulls the little girl into a full-on embrace. He doesn't know what to say or do. He wants to help his niece. He wants to whisper something reassuring to her, but I cannot think of a single reassuring thing to whisper. The girl's father would know what to say. Philip would know. He always knows what to say. Philip really is a guy who says the things everyone else wishes they had said. He says what needs to be said, and he does what needs to be done. Like right now, he's out there with Bobby and Nick doing what needs to be done, while Brian hungers here in the darkness like a scared rabbit, wishing he knew what to say to his niece. Considering the fact that Brian Blake is the oldest of the two siblings, it is odd how Brian has always been the runt. Barely 5'7" in his boot heels, Brian Blake is a raw-boned scarecrow of a man scarcely able to fill out his black peg jeans and torn Weezer t-shirt. A mousy goatee, macrame bracelets, and a thatch of dark Archibald green hair complete the picture of a 35-year-old bohemian wife stuck in a Peter Pan limbo, now kneeling in the mothball-scented gloom. Brian sucks in a hoarse breath and looks down at the doe-eyed Penny, her mute, horrified face ghostly in the darkness of the closet. The child has always been quite a quiet girl, with almost porcelain complexion like that of a China doll, which has given her face a rather ethereal cast. But since her mother's death, she has turned even further inward, becoming more wan and stoic, to the point of appearing almost translucent, with tendrils of raven black hair obscuring her huge eyes. For the last 3 days, she has hardly said a word. Of course, they have been 3 extraordinary days, and trauma works differently on children than it does on adults, but Brian is worried that Penny perhaps is slipping into some kind of shock. It's gonna be okay, kiddo, Brian whispers through with a lame little cough as punctuation. He says something without looking up at him. She mumbles it, staring down at the floor, a tear perling on her dirty little cheek. Well, what's happened? Brian cradles her against and wipes her tear. She says them again, and again, but not exactly to Brian. She says it more like a mantra or a prayer or an indication. It's never ever gonna be okay. Never ever 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 ever. Shh. He holds her head, pressing it gently against the folds of his t-shirt. He feels the damp heat of her face against his ribs. He covers her ears as he hears the thwack of another axe blade outside the closet, smashing through the membrane of his scalp, into the hard shell of his skull, through the layers of dura, and into the pulp gray gelatin of an occipital lobe. It makes a smacking noise like a baseball hitting a wet softball, the ejaculate of blood like a mob head slapping the floor, followed by a ghastly wet thud. Oddly, that's the worst part for Brian, that hollow, moist thump of a body landing on the expensive ceramic tile. The tile is custom made for the house with elaborate inlay and Aztec design. It's a lovely house, or at least it once was. Again the noises cease. Again the horrible dripping silence follows. Brian stifles a cough, holding it in like a firecracker that's about to pop, so he can better hear the minute changes in breathing outside the closet. The greasy footsteps shuffling through the gore, but the place is dead silent now. Brian feels a child seize up next to him, little Penny girdling herself into another salvo of axe blows. But the silence stretches. Inches away, the sound of a bolt clicking and the closet doorknob turning rashes Brian's body with goose flesh. The door swings open. Okay, we're good, said the baritone voice, whiskey cured and smoky, comes from a man peering down into the recess of the closet. Eyes blinking at the darkness, face shimmering with sweat. With the exertion of zombie disposal, Philip Blake holds a cruel, slick axe in his workman's hand. You sure, Brian utters, ignoring his brother. Philip gazes down at his daughter. Everything okay, Pumpkin? Daddy's okay. Are you sure? Brian says with a cough. Philip looks at his brother. You mind covering your mouth, sport? Brian wheezes. You sure it's clear? Pumpkin, Philip addresses his daughter tenderly, his faint southern drawl belaying the bright feral embers of violence just now fading in his eyes. I'm gonna need y'all to stay right here for a minute, alright? You stay right there until Daddy says it's okay to come out, you understand? With a slight nod, the pale little girl gives him a feeble gesture of understanding. Come on, sport, Philip urges his older brother out of the shadows. Gonna need your help with this cleanup. Brian struggles to his feet, pushing his way through the hanging overcoats. He emerges from the closet and blinks at the harsh light of the vestibule. He stares and coughs and stares some more. For a brief moment, it looks as though the lavish entryway of the two-story colonial, brightly lit by fancy copper chandeliers, is in the throes of being redecorated by a work crew affected by palsy. Great swaths of eggplant purple splatter stains stain the teal green plaster walls, or such patterns of black and crimson adorn the baseboards and moldings. Then the shapes on the floor register. 6 bodies lie akimbo in bloody heaps, ages and genders that are obscured by the wet carnage, the motley, livid-skinned tones, and the misshapen skulls. The largest lies in a spreading pool of bile at the foot of the great circular staircase. Another one, perhaps a lady of the house. Perhaps once a convivial hostess offering peach cobbler in southern hospitality is now splayed across the lovely white parquet floor in a contorted mess, a stringer of warm gray matter flagging from her breached cranium. Oh, well, it seems you've fallen asleep. Okay, well, I guess I'll let you sleep then, and we'll finish this book next session.